Hello Whovians, it's Matt here and welcome back to New Who HQ. Today I'm ranking arguably one of the best seasons of Doctor Who, Season 4 with David Tennant and Donna Noble. If you haven't caught the last 3 seasons that I've ranked, you can go and watch them right now. Before or after you watch this, it's up to you. But yeah, I'm really interested to rank this because I love this series so much. It has so many great stories and it's really hard for me to rank. Before I get into the list, I just want to say I will be counting two-parters as one. So that includes the Sontaran double bill, the Forest of the Dead and Silence in the Library, and then the finale, which is the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. I am counting Turn Left as a one solid story. You could obviously say that it's a three-parter, and I understand why you would say that, but I'm just counting that as one. So there are 10 to rank, and we're going to be starting down at number 10, The Fires of Pompeii. This one for me, yeah, it didn't do very much. I'm going to try and not waffle too much in this because I did one earlier and it was about 20 minutes of me just talking. I guess it's so much of a filler. It's nice to see Peter Capaldi in it, but I feel like if I did this review a few years ago, I would have put it higher. Over time, it hasn't seemed to have stayed with me. I seen me liking it seemed to have decreased. Hence why I'm now putting it at the bottom. But as I said, season 4 it's tough. There's a lot of good episodes, and this isn't bad. It's got good stuff in it. It's just, yeah, it's just such a filler. Moving on then to number 9, The Doctor's Daughter. Yet again, it's such a filler. It's also weird to think that the Doctor's daughter is actually the Doctor's wife in real life, which makes me, going back watching this episode, it feels so weird now, and I can't really enjoy it knowing that his daughter is actually his wife. Ugh, it just feels weird. Again, it's a filler, not much really happens. Yeah, it's just meh. Let's move up then to number 8, Partners in Crime. We're on to the stories now that I really like. I really like Partners in Crime, the adipose, the introduction of Donna Noble. The story was great. I actually really enjoyed it. As I said, the competition is so hard for this series. It's why it's at number 8. But this didn't feel like a filler. This felt like an introduction that we needed. And, I feel like, right, okay, we're going to settle in with Donna. This is going to be a good series sort of thing. So overall, yeah, it's a really solid opener. Obviously, it's not fantastic, but it's so much better than we've had in the past series 2. I'd probably say it's the best opening so far, actually. Series 1, 2 and 3 haven't got better openings, so that's what I think. Number 7, the first two-parter. I'm just get my phone to remember this. It is the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poisoned Sky. I love the Sontarans. I think they're amazing. Obviously, they were in season 13 as well, and Strax comes back throughout Matt Smith's tenure. But this is where they're quite menacing, actually. Something that's like a potato could be really menacing, and the danger that they have. I feel like David Tennant plays with them really well. I quite like getting the army involved as well. It's quite a cool little twist to it. And Martha as well, of course, having Martha back. It's lovely to have Martha and Donna back, actually. That is really, really nice. But it's also kind of scary. The bits where they're making clones of people, that actually did scare me a little bit. And if something can scare me, then it gets praise. So it is really good. I'll probably say part 1's better than part 2, as most parts normally are. But yeah, fantastic. Number 6, Planet of the Ood. Now this one, again, you could very much say is a filler. But I'm going to be honest with you, I have a very soft spot for the Oods. Now, not a lot of people tend to put this episode very high. And it's got to number 6 because, as I said, the Oods are just... the creation of them, the invention and the idea is truly remarkable. Hence why this is now the second time they've been used within David Tennant, and it feels fresh all the time because their characters can make it feel fresh. How they are, I think, is amazing, and you could do a lot with them. And to get the Planet of the Ood, to see how they've been brought up, and to have that little message, with the slavery, I think this is a very underrated episode of Doctor Who, even though it is number 6, I know, but man, it's underrated and does not get enough praise. Number 5, another one that's probably too high up for a lot of people. Again, I love it a bit too much. Unicorn and the Wasp. This one has that 1920s feel and it hits it so well. I'm just literally licking my lips when I watch it. Anyway, I love it. It's just great. The whole Agatha Christie coming back, And they're like, my name's, sorry, who are you? Agatha Christie. What about her? That's me. No! I love that, that's brilliant. I love Donna not taking the mick out of their accent, but sort of sniffing, darling. Yes, I can't do it, but you know what I mean. I love all of that. I just love the feel of the episode. The vibe is fantastic. It makes me feel like I'm in the 1920s. It really, really does. And then adding Doctor Who into it with the Wasp, I think it's really good. The effects still hold up pretty well, a bit like an Agatha Christie sort of murder mystery. Oh, this has got everything. This could have been a two-parter. I love it. Let's move up then to number 4. Turn Left. This one is great. Again, it could be part of the three-parter, but it's number 4. For a standalone episode, it is fantastic. It's also, it got me. It's quite scary. I quite like it. I feel like the reason this episode is so good, the reason the finale is so good is because of this episode. So it deserves a lot of praise. And yeah, I really like it. Number 3, it's the finale, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Having Davros coming back, having Sarah Jane and the whole gang and Captain Jack and everybody you can think of who in the past few seasons of Doctor Who are back together, and it's the reunion that makes it come up to number 3, fighting Davros and the Daleks. You can't ruin that. It's, you know, it's a Dalek story. We love it. I absolutely love this two-part. It's a great way to end a fantastic series, but it's at number 3, and the other 2 are absolutely astounding episodes. Like, for them to beat this episode is good, because this is a great, again, this is probably the best finale. That's a bit, actually that's quite hard between this and John Sim. No, I'm going to say this is the best finale of Doctor Who so far. I'm going as far to say that. So yeah, that's, well done. Let's move then to number 2, moving away from the free parting stuff, is Midnight. Oh yes, I love Midnight so much. It's, again, it's such a cheap, easy idea that's so effective. The Doctor's main weapon is his voice and what he can do, and the fact that he gets that taken away from him makes everybody vulnerable. It makes the shadowy effect on this whole episode. I think this is arguably one of the best episodes of Doctor Who. Definitely one of the best of season 4. The fact that it beat the three-parter is pretty solid. It's the fact that it's just in one room for 45 minutes and repeating itself, I think it's great. I generally think it's a fantastic episode. It's got so much of what I like and what I wanted from that sort of story, and not knowing what the banging is and never knowing what the banging was, and the thing that came in and took over the Doctor and Miss Sylvester. The unknown, that's the most scary, and the Doctor Who in this episode really plays on that and plays on it fantastically. But it's not number 1. And number 1, I'm sure you know, is Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. Yeah, this one is truly remarkable. David Tennant and Donna in this are great. River's song is great. The supporting cast, as I said, I review Jodie Whittaker episodes. What the difference between that and this sort of episode with Russell T Davies at the helm is you have a wide range of characters and we get a little bit of them. We get their backstory, and I love that, to the point where you care because a lot of them die in this two-parter. Also, the idea that they can use the dark as a story but still make it feel fresh and new. The Vashta Narada. What a creepy name. It's so scary, this episode. I used to have nightmares when I was younger because I watched this live. And this is what also I love about this. As I said earlier, with the Sontaran one, even with Turn Left and all that, the first part is always great and then the second part lets it down. That is not the case here. Both parts are top tier. They are fantastic. The second part had a lot to ride on because the first part was great. It was a cliffhanger. They had to pull it out of the bag, and they did. It was so good, even though part 1 was good. Part 2 is great as well. I call it the wobbly face, where the lady in the black cloak, woman in black vibes, and it's such an easy effect of when they're in the park, the children are all the same, and Donna's noticing that. I literally get shivers down my spine even thinking about it, because I used to have nightmares about it. I guess sort of that stuck with me through childhood, and it is a childhood thing of why I love the episode, but I still love it to today, and it is fantastic. So that is my list. I mean, what do you lot think? Stuff like Planet of the Ood and Unicorn and the Wasp is so good. There are so many good episodes, it's really hard to rank. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, if you completely agree with me or what you disagree with, and what would you put as your number one? I'm very, very interested. We will be moving away from David Tennant, but I've just remembered I've got to do the specials, because he had a whole load of specials, so I will be reviewing them in the coming weeks before we move on to Matt Smith's tenure. If you're new, please subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll see you all next time, Whovians. Goodbye.